tired of buying berries, and before you can get them eaten, they start to get, well, fuzzy? Do you like the flavor of berries, but not the texture? The second one is me. I love the flavor, but not so much the texture of berries. Berries are a good part of a healthy diet, though. So I want to make sure I'm getting some berries in there. They have valuable nutrients and boost our immune system. So how can I make this easier? Hi, and welcome. I'm Tina, the girl in the garden. Today, we're going to go on a journey through dehydrating berries and making berry powder. I think I've lost some there. That way I can enjoy the flavorful greatness of the berries, but I don't have to deal with the textures. There's some fun and tasty things that we can do with berry powder, but let's get to making our berry powder first. Let's get started. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go through my berries and take out anything that looks fuzzy. Then I'm going to give it a quick wash in a bowl of water. And then I'm going to kind of smash them up a bit to put them in the dehydrator. All right, let me get to sorting and washing. These are washing up. I did have a couple in here that I took out because they did not look healthy. All right, so now I'm going to drain these and dump them out. I got me a little towel here to help dry them. And then we'll move on to smashing them just a little bit so they dehydrate a little quicker. Sorry for the background noise. I got someone weed eating in the backyard. Okay, so our raspberries, I don't know if you know this, but berries, fresh berries, only last 3 to 7 days in the refrigerator. Raspberries is the one that is the quickest to mold. I think strawberries was one that was more hardy, or blueberries, maybe it was. Anyway, so once I get them all washed, I take my little meat mallet here. I put it in a Ziploc. Don't leave it open. It will squirt out. I did that. And then I just kind of do this to smash them down. And while I'm doing this, I actually have my blackberries washing up. All right, let me finish this up. I'm going to need 2 hands. I did put a little bit of parchment paper down. I can never get it to tear right. I don't know what's wrong with me. Anyway, so they're kind of smashed partially all the way. That's my raspberries. I'm going to put them in the dehydrator, 125. And I think last time it took me almost 2 full days. We'll see. It's hotter now than it was then when I did the other one, so we'll see. And then I'm going to move on to my blackberries and then my blueberries. All right, I'll be back. And there's our blueberries. I did use the same Ziploc bag for all 3 berries. I'm going to rinse them, probably use it for something else now. Anyway, let's get this in at 125. I will let the dehydrator go for as many hours as it will go, but I will be checking it in between. And I'm looking for these to be nice and crispy. I'll see you in a while. And we're back. And of course, now that I said that, I feel like I need to sneeze. It has been so windy here, it's been crazy. All right, 1 second. Yes, I'm sorry. Anyway, the berries got done dehydrating at a point where I could not continue to do the video. So I took it off the parchment paper, which was really easy. The parts that kind of went over onto the racks was very difficult. So you do want to put something down. And then keep in mind, well, remember, I want to dehydrate berries because I don't like the texture necessarily of a full berry. So, but I'm trying to get more berries in my diet. They're full of antidioxidants. They've got vitamins and minerals, whatever. So that's why I'm dehydrating, is trying to figure out different ways that I can get more berries into my daily life. The one thing to keep in mind is that when you dehydrate, it pulls out the water out of the berry, so it concentrates the sugar. So if for any reason you need to be watching your sugar intake, please make sure you do the right thing and check with your medical doctor, because I don't want anybody to have issues with adding more berries to their diet. Anyway, I just use my little grinder here to chop them up. So let's go ahead and get that done. All right, here's our blueberries. I just put on the lid. That's pretty loud. I'm not going to make you suffer through the whole thing. Basically, I just pulse it till it turns to a powder. All right, give me a chance to get this done and I'll show you what I got. Here's our blackberry powder. I'm going to give it a couple more hits, and then we're going to see if we can't make some blackberry ice cream. Let me get to it and get this done so we can have some dessert. All right, when you finish grinding your berries, let it sit for a second because there'll be a lot of dust in there. All right, let's see if this works. So this is ice cream. I just got a cheap brand. And I did measure out, no, we never measure desserts, right? Those are always measured with your heart. But I did measure out half a cup just so we kind of know the ratios. And this is going to depend upon your own taste when you get to the berries. And I'm doing a teaspoon of blackberry. I'm going to dump it in here, and then I'm going to mix it up and see if it's good enough to eat or if I have to wait. All right. Not bad. I did end up putting in 2 teaspoons, and you do gotta whip it up kind of like a milkshake to kind of to mix in there. The longer it sits, the stronger that blackberry flavor is going to be, because those little powder flecks are gonna rehydrate more and make a bigger burst of berry flavor. But it does work even if you wanted to eat it right now. So that is berries and how to get more in your diet. Yes, it's ice cream. You're like, well, what else can I do? Hold on. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss part 2, where I give you, I should say, where I experiment with adding it to some other food. There'll be more sweets. I'm probably going to try yogurt. There's going to be some savory stuff, because you can't have dessert all the time, right? You gotta have some good food. So anyway, that's my berry video, like I said, and thank you for sticking around and waiting so long for me to finally be able to get this done. Hit that subscribe button. If you learned something new or you liked the video, give me a thumbs up, share with your friends, comment below and tell me hello, where you're from, or do you dehydrate berries? Is there a better way for me to do this? I'm thinking if I made my own ice cream and added the berry powder in there, that would be really good. But that's it for today, folks. Thank you so much for sticking around. This is Tina, the girl in the garden, and I'll see you next time. Bye.